Today we will talk about tire management. This is a video I have wanted to do for a while, but there was not much of a point to do it in the Project Cars days, as it wasn't important enough for the outcome of races. This is an important factor in Assetto Corsa, and it will be even more important when we are allowed to do long races. Not only the wear levels are higher, but also much more influenced by your driving style and your setup choices. Even now, when we are stuck doing 10-lap races at best, it's quite easy to see how some drivers struggle more than others in the final laps, especially when the softest compound for the car doesn't last long. But keeping your tires alive for long is just one side of the coin. There are two different skills needed when it comes to tire management: tire heating and tire saving. Both come in handy at different times of the racing weekend, so we'll talk about them separately. We'll start with the tire heating. Let's get going. There are different moments when you'll need to be good at tire heating in a racing weekend. Probably the most important ones are outlaps in qualifying session and the start of a race. When you set up a car, you want to get it working perfectly when the tires are fully up to temperature and pressure, because that's how they will be for 99% of the race. If you can, you should avoid making any compromise in your setup and improve the tire heating through your own driving. A common mistake people make is thinking the best way to heat the tires is to just drive fast. The point of this part of the video is to show that is not the case. Let's imagine for a second this is an outlap during a qualifying session. I'm driving as fast as I can since I left the pits, and I'll keep doing that all the way around the track. I'm just driving the same way I will drive in any other lap. Now I'll shut up for a while, and I want you to keep an eye on how the heads-up display temperatures evolve during this lap, and especially how they look when I start what will be the qualifying lap. You can see the right front tire is still cold and low on pressure, despite me driving full speed. Meanwhile, the front left and the rear tires are ready to deliver. This is a typical situation in clockwise circuits. The rears are very easy to heat up in a car like this. You'll never have a problem with them, and if you have, all it takes is a bit of wheel spin here and there. As from the left front, there are so many right-handers that in 3 or 4 corners it will be ready even if you take it very easy. Keep an eye on it. So, what can we do in this situation to get the car fully ready in one lap? Let's see it in this different outlap. All around the track, I'll drive very carefully on the right-handers, and I'll avoid wheel spin too. In the left-handers, I'll force massive amounts of understeer by cranking the wheel much faster than usual and using far more steering lock too. This is far from the fastest way around the racetrack. I'll coast in some corners and induce massive understeer in others, and still I'll get far better heating. The idea is preventing any risk of overheating in the 3 tires that work hard in this combo, and trying to get the front right working before the start of the lap that counts. Keep an eye on the heads-up display for the rest of the lap. You can see that I will start this qualifying lap with a car that will work much better than before. As for race starts, it's a real shame there's no formation laps in this game. It will reward this skill a lot and make plenty of difference for lap 1. Instead, the game gives everybody on the grid stone cold tires, as the tire blanket option is always off for races. I understand perfectly why they don't include formation laps, but the cold tires are increasing a lot the number of pile-ups in turn 1. Anyway, let's get to the point. My advice for race start is different for obvious reasons. Forget about the tire warming techniques on lap 1, and just drive your ass out. Push, race other people, and just drive as fast as the tires allow you to drive at any point. It doesn't matter if it takes you half a lap longer to get everything working. This is a race, so just turn off the heads-up display if you want, and focus on you and the other 19 cars around you. This idea also works for outlaps after a pit stop in races. Every lap counts the same, so there's no point coasting yourself time out of the pits. Now, let's change the topic and talk about the other side of the coin, tire saving. Tire saving benefits are evident during the races. Again, many people think tire saving is about driving a bit slower than normal, but it's not the case. Lapping slower might not help your wear levels if you are reckless. The main factor to get low wear is to avoid certain actions, like wheel spin, lockups or slides. It is true that driving flat out while avoiding this stuff is not easy at all, but it's important to establish that it is all about the kind of efforts you ask of your tires, not about what pace you are doing. We are going to change combo to talk about this, and move to GT3 racing at Silverstone. If you have ever raced this combo, you will know the front left is going to struggle if you use the soft compound. Now, let's go on board to see the heads-up display for a full lap. You will notice that the front left tire is overheated for a significant part of the lap. That will start a chain effect. Overheating will reduce your front grip levels, producing more understeer. All these slides on the front end will increase the temperatures even more, and unless you stay away from that spiral, your tires won't last long in good condition. In front limited tracks, like Silverstone or Barcelona, the way to keep up your pace is to avoid understeer. During the races you cannot simply back out, so the best way to work on this is the setup side. Make sure you have a car that goes where the front wheels are pointing, and try to avoid big slip angles at the front. Tune your car so it's easy to rotate it out of corners when you get back on the power too. In rear limited tracks, like Bahrain or Singapore, the key is to avoid oversteer and wheel spin. Be gentle on the power out of corners, and look for a setup that gets you good traction. There aren't many of these tracks in Assetto Corsa. Maybe Monza is a bit like this, but it has so many long straights between the heavy traction efforts that the tire gets to cool down without the driver having to do anything special. Back to Silverstone, we have arrived to the most critical part of the lap. Keep an eye on the front left temperatures from here on. If you get your tires to this condition, you might be able to do a fast lap or two, but eventually understeer will start to hurt you. Now, let's see a handful of slow motion examples of corner exit understeer, which is usually the main factor for the overheating to start in front limited tracks. You will see that as soon as I get back on the throttle hard, the front cannot steer the car, and I have to use a lot of lock. This problem will keep building up, and soon you will have to wait a lot before getting back on the power to avoid going wide. So if you notice this behavior, try to make setup changes that allow the rear of the car to rotate a bit more when you are accelerating. And that was it. I hope you can use these tips to your advantage, and as always, thanks for watching.